Stream time. It's fun. Bring that down. Where are my glasses? All right, guys, let's have some history time. Let's do it. I have so many notes to pull through. I'm gonna boot up Crusader Kings because we're gonna need to take a look at the map while we do our due. But if you're wondering who this stream is brought to you by, then look no further than Sneak Energy Drink. If it's not a little rabbit, then I'm not gonna put it in my mouth. If that's not their new slogan, I don't know what is. Uh-oh, did I... Hold on. Uh-oh. I gotta change something. That was almost bad. Okay, guys, give me 1 sec while that finishes doing what it is doing. We're gonna go ahead and press this button. Press this button. So, we have our history time today, and we're going to be concluding our discussion on Scotland. And when I say that, I'm mainly going to conclude our discussion on Scotland's medieval time. There's still plenty of Scotland history to go through, but I will not be going through all of it because you can't even go that far in the game. But where... Okay. And now we can boot up Crusader Kings 3. There we go. It was like, give me some BS error. So, let's bring this over here. Let's do this right there. Let's press this right here. Let's go this. Yes, I've watched Last Kingdom, and it is one of my favorite shows. I cannot wait for the next one. All right. So last we left off, we were talking about Alexander III. We had talked about Alexander II and the III essentially creating a golden age for Scotland. And this was kind of short-lived, unfortunately. So you see, Alexander III had 3 children, and he also consequently had a wife. That's kind of how that works. And from there, in the span of like a year or two, all 3 of his kids and his wife die. And I think that's around like 1282, 1283. So unfortunately, Alexander III decides to remarry. Let me just make sure this is all good. Okay, we'll press new game so we can have a map up here while we're talking. Perfect, King Malcolm, that'll do. Oh, what's up, painting coach? How you doing, man? Give me 1 sec and I'll get back to you. So, why is this not? There we go. So here we have Scotland. We'll click this onto this title because this is kind of representative of what Scotland looked like in 1284. So Alexander III was still relatively young as far as things go, right? He was only 44 years old when he decided to remarry. And when he remarried, he had his wife was pregnant, so things were on a good route, a good trajectory. But unfortunately, just a year or two after, in 1286, he falls off of his horse and dies. So this kind of follows a long line of kings of Scotland dying either in battle, falling ill, or falling off of horses and dying. And that's actually super commonplace in this age. what's the King Henry, right? King Henry with Anne Boleyn. He fell off of his horse and he almost died. He fell off of his horse in a joust and almost died. Like, there are plenty of instances of kings falling off of horses and nearly dying. Because if you really think of it, cat's just like meowing at me. If you think about it, like, falling off of a horse is really, like, depending on the horse, that's like a 6-foot drop. And it's a really awkward drop because you don't fall out of a horse romantically or luxuriously. It's kind of, you're caught, you're awkward, and you fall. And sometimes you just fall on your head. You get trampled by your own horse. There's a lot of things that can go wrong if you happenstance to fall off a horse. It's different than going, okay, I have to consciously make the decision to fall off of this horse because I got to get down, whatever that case is. There's usually a little bit different of a scenario. But when you accidentally fall off of one, it can kill you forever. So Alexander III dies, and with that, the fate of Scotland lies in his unborn child, which unfortunately becomes, or is stillborn and dies in childbirth, as you can tell. So that's like 2 or 3 years of just solid tragedy for Scotland, and it unfortunately does not end there. So the only legitimate claim to the throne is the granddaughter of Alexander III, Margaret. Margaret is the Maiden of Norway. She's 3 years old, and she's betrothed to the King of Norway. And this boils out of control very quickly because remember, tanistry is still in effect, and primogeniture has not quite yet sunk into Scotland, and there's no real precedent of a female king for the Scottish crown like this. And what happens is regents step up to try to rule in Margaret's stead, and 2 real prominent ones, Robert de Bruce, not the Bruce, there's a difference there, and John Balliol, one from Annandale and one from Galloway. Galloway isn't what I'm so bad at this. I wish I was better at Scottish. Galloway's not, isn't Galloway part of the Lowlands? I wish I was better at Scottish geography. Well, Galloway and Annandale. I know Annandale's somewhere around here. I saw it just the other day when we were playing. I was like, oh, that's where it is. Well, there's Falkirk. We'll need that in a sec. Dunbar is super important as well. Galloway is in the Isles. South of the East Lowlands. Oh, you know the big thing that says Galloway in bottom of Strathclyde? There it is. So we have John Balliol here from Galloway, and then Annandale right next to it is where we get Robert de Bruce. And these two essentially kind of vie for, and this is the heraldry of Robert de Bruce right there. So it's kind of a cool little throwback there. Cat in here somewhere? So it's kind of a nice little nod that they've done. Now, moving forward, England steps in to mediate the situation, and Edward I Longshanks says, okay, well, how about we do this? You need a legitimate heir to the throne. Margaret needs to marry someone that will be the Scottish king. She can't just do the English, or I'm sorry, the Norwegian crown. And so why don't you, Margaret, marry my son, Edward II? And that kind of solves things. So what happens is Margaret is betrothed to Edward II. That kind of quells the dissonance, and things are looking up. Things are looking pretty good. Until 4 years later, when Margaret dies on her way to Scotland at the age of 7. She takes ill and passes away. And back we are to the issue of succession. We get what's called the Great Cause that starts in 1291. So let me bring up this picture right here. This is a pretty solid one. We've got 2 really good ones here, so we'll look at these. So here is our first one, and this shows us all of the claimants to the throne of Scotland. over there, over there, over there, over there. God, I can't even do it anymore. Over there. Over there. Over here. Over right there. Over there. So you have quite a lot of people that have a claim to the throne. Most of them are illegitimate. The ones that have the biggest claim to the throne are John Hastings, John Comyn, Robert de Bruce, and, well, Edward. And Edward isn't really much of a claim. It's more of a wild claim, as it were. And you can see on this thing it says competitor. Illegitimate line is denoted by a heart, like Roger right here. The diamond is descendant of David, Earl of Huntington. The club is other descendant, and then the spade is by ascendants or jure exoris. So you have a bunch of different people here that have kind of all essentially vied for the crown of Scotland. So here are your main claimants, as you can see. John Balliol, like I was saying, Robert Bruce, or Robert the Bruce, John Hastings, Florence, Count of Holland, Humphrey de Bohun. I actually don't know anything about those latter two, to be totally honest with you. And this all kind of stems from the line of David. David was the one who begat Alexander 1, 2, and 3. So that's how you kind of get that lineage here. David was back in 1153, so you know that was quite the time ago. So this all gets out of control pretty quickly. But before it really does, you have Edward Longshanks who steps in and says, listen, we had kind of solved this pretty easily. And Edward Longshanks, if you look at the history of England, not of Scotland, because Edward Longshanks in the history of Scotland is kind of a tyrant. But in the history of England, Edward Longshanks is a particularly good and great king. He does a lot to really expand England as a whole and really kind of push it up as far as technology goes, as far as culture goes. He is one of the best kings of England, period, especially in the high medieval era, which we're kind of coming into and then out of in the subsequent 100 some odd years. But Edward says, listen, this was going to happen anyway, so why don't we just do this? You will be my subordinate. You'll be independent, but you'll be a subject of the crown. And because after the death of Margaret, Scottish Parliament even asked Edward for help. So it was really like, it wasn't Edward stepped in out of nowhere and said, all right, let me get to the bottom of this. It was the second time Edward had been called in to mitigate this. And he was not a man of half measures, and he was not a man who liked to do things more than once. He got quite angry. So he pretty much said, this was going to happen if my son took over, so let's just have it be done. And the Scottish Parliament said, well, we really can't oppose you, so fine, let's let it happen. And so what did my notes say over there? And so what Edward does is in 1292 he installs John Balliol as a puppet king. Well, he installs him as the king, and people think, oh, this is great, but he quickly has realized that he is a puppet king. And what this eventually leads to is Scottish dissidents against John Balliol, because they realize this guy is really just an English puppet here. He's not really for the people of Scotland, even though they are supposed to still be independent. So Scotland tries to create an alliance with England's biggest enemy, France. This is what's called the Ald Alliance. So let's go ahead and look back at the map here, and I'll show you why this is so important. Okay. Close that. So when we look at Scotland and France on this map, okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? Going on. There we go. On this map, if I were to have a war with France as England, well, now France's ally Scotland's at my back, or vice versa. So that was the point of the Ald Alliance, was to completely throw England against the backboard, because they would be constantly having to fight a war on two fronts. This did not really have the desired effect. This led to the First War of Scottish Independence in 1295. Now, with this, the intention was, of course, to have French support against an English invasion into Scotland. And what ended up happening was that the English fought at, let me get to it, the Battle of Dunbar, and subsequently, it wasn't a major battle. This wasn't like 50,000 men versus 50,000 men. This was a pretty minor skirmish as far as all things are concerned. But it did lead to a Scottish loss and an English victory in this case. And it resulted in the capture of the Scottish lowlands for England. And this would go on to ping pong back and forth for the next couple hundred some odd years of Scottish independence conflicts that are going to occur from this, well, next like 50 years of Scottish independence conflicts back and forth. So the Scottish lowlands are firmly held by England, and it is not looking good. My notes are like super small because this is such a dense part of the Scottish history. I just want to make sure I get everything right as far as timestamps go. But when this happens too, the English take King John and they exile him. They boot him out of the crown, and they take the Stone of Scone and put it in England proper, down in London, and kind of just say like, okay, well now we've taken your lowlands, we've taken your king, and we've taken one of the relics of Scotland's hierarchy, as it were, or Scotland's monarchy, as it were. And this is pretty rough. Obviously, Scotland is now completely subordinate to the English crown, and Edward is full ruler of Scotland. If we were to look at this map on an English war room in 1297, it would just look like a big old swath of red a big old swath of red for all of it being England. And this did not sit well with the Scots, as you would imagine. The Scots have a history. We've talked about this with the Romans. We've talked about this with the Anglo-Saxons and with the Norwegians. They have, or with the Vikings, a history of pushing back and trying to take the land that is theirs through cultural, whatever kind of right you want to claim. That's what they're going to go after. And this results in the rise of William Wallace. Now, we're going to talk about William Wallace because he's a particularly poignant character in Scottish history, but he is not as important as Robert the Bruce. And when we compare William Wallace to Robert the Bruce, and we compare William Wallace to Mel Gibson's portrayal of William Wallace, it's two very different individuals. The portrayal by Braveheart and Mel Gibson was really cool, right? Dude, if you don't like the movie Braveheart, what is wrong with you? I love that movie. But William Wallace was not just some peasant that rose up and said, we're going to fight them. We're going to fight the English. I got laser bolts that fire out of my eyes and bolts of lightning out of my ass, or whatever he says in the movie. It's not that way. He was noble. He was of nobility, a lowly noble, or an obscure one at the least, but he at least was on the exact same level as Robert the Bruce. Let me get some water. Oh, when I talk like that, my voice breaks out. Just shuts down quickly. So in 1297, the war was back on. This is still part of the first war for Scottish independence. And in the movie Braveheart, who's Mel Gibson's butt buddy? It is Robert the Bruce, right? It's like, it's always them, neck and neck, like, hey bro, good job, man. It's not really that way in history. In history, it was William Wallace and Andrew de Moray, as we know, Moray over here. And they're the ones that actually captured all of Scottish Highlands for Scotland. They said this is no longer part of the English crown. It is all ours. And again, the Lowlands division, and someone can help me out with this. I believe the division between the Lowlands and Highlands starts right here. And someone can help me out if that's wrong or not. But as I understand it, this is Highlands. This is Lowlands, as far as Scotland's concerned. So, I say so a lot. I'm sorry. It's just my way of vamping for thinking. And what ends up happening, of course, is the dreaded Battle of I'm looking at Falkirk, the Battle of Stirling Bridge, in which case the English send a force into Scotland to subdue both Moray and William Wallace. And it's a battle of 6,000 Scots versus 9,000 Englishmen, all of which on a big old bridge, right? The English are making way on this bridge, and it's wooden at the point. It's stone now. The English were like, well, we're going to rebuild that thing with stone. We're never having it collapse on us again. But they're crossing this stone bridge, and right at the kind of pivotal moment when the forces are really stretched out across the bridge, they're almost at the end of it, Scotland attacks. And in doing so, the combined weight of everyone on the bridge causes a collapse. It's a really pivotal moment because it is a sweeping victory for Scotland. It galvanizes the nation, and it really puts a lot of fuel on the fire of the war for independence. Unfortunately, Andrew de Moray perishes in this conflict of his wounds, and it's pretty much William Wallace leading the way. In the next year, though, good old Longshanks, who was down here fighting France, gets pissed off, and like I said, not a man of half measures, and he comes back to the Battle of Falkirk, and just wipes the floor with Scotland. Falkirk, again, right there. And with this, it really puts Scotland on the back heel. Like it's a crushing victory, and William Wallace flees Scotland for a number of years. He's trying to drum up support for Scottish independence, and it's assumed that he goes down into France. Because remember, he is of nobility. He can get invited into noble houses and into the French court. So he uses this to try to leverage more and more support for Scotland. And in doing so, he comes back to Scotland in 1303 to, again, try and bring that support home, and is captured and executed. And the only thing he says, and there's a lot of like tall tale and mythicism attached to William Wallace, so this might be one of those things. But when the only thing he says during his trial is something to the effect of, I never needed to bow to Edward because I was never his subject to begin with. And he is subsequently killed, and that really kind of puts a damper on things. So now we come into 1306. With Robert the Bruce kind of taking center stage here. Robert the Bruce is present during everything that's happening with William Wallace, but Robert the Bruce, his father, actually sides with the English crown. And a number of noble families side with the English crown, and those families are typically the ones that are comprised of the lowlands. So when Robert the Bruce kind of enters the stage here, he really kind of picks up where William Wallace left off in a lot of ways, but also in a lot of different ways. So I guess now for our frame of reference when it comes to quote-unquote pop culture, we'll be talking about the movie Outlaw King, which is really good. I really enjoyed it. I think I've watched it 3 times since it came out. And the thing with it is, though, that they tried to just truncate what is essentially like, 1306 to 1347. That's the reign from him to his son. Yeah. They try to pretty much truncate like 20 years of history in the span of 2 weeks in that movie. So it kind of gets a little jumbled, and it becomes kind of a shit show. But we're going to kind of go through this together hand in hand. It all really starts off with Robert the Bruce meeting John Comyn. I'm sorry, not John Comyn, John Comyn. C-O-M-Y-N, not C-O-M-M-O-N-S, that the movie would make you think. So John Comyn at just a lowly little church. They meet at an altar. They get into an altercation because what happened is John Comyn told Robert the Bruce, he said, listen, I told King Edward that you're trying to take the crown, and he's going to come over here and he's going to smack your ass around just like he did Billy Wallace. And this pisses off Bobby Bruce. So, rightfully so, he stabs John Comyn in the neck. And this is huge, right? You don't kill a man at an altar. And as a result, He's excommunicated, which doesn't really seem to have an effect. In the movie, they make it look like, okay, he's excommunicated one day, and 2 days later, a bunch of bishops get together and go, we can't do this, we need the Scottish crown. He's not excommunicated anymore. It's not like that. He is excommunicated. I don't even think I wrote on my notes I think he's excommunicated until 1327 or 1326. Like, it's a long time. So 1306 is when this all kicks off. And it leads to the Battle of Methven. And in the Battle of Methven, Robert the Bruce loses. And he has to retreat to Rathlin Island. And I believe it's like somewhere... it's not on this map anywhere that I see. But I thought it was kind of up here. If those of you who know Scottish geography, you can let me know. I thought it was around here in the above Moray. And here he kind of buys his time. He essentially tries to do things kind of underhanded, kind of on the sideline, not taking the direct stance that I would say William Wallace took during his insurrection. Those are so small over here because there's so much information, so I apologize, guys. But we come in from 1306 with that battle that lost into 1307 with Longshanks passing away. Edward I dies and Edward II takes the throne. And Edward II is really not concerned. Even though it was promised to him in marriage, he's not as concerned with Scotland as he is with France. France continues to be that perpetual thorn in the side of England in this point in history. So he sends a force up to really kind of was reaffirmed by the Pope in 1326. Thank you, Roland Days. To kind of put the Scottish resistance down once and for all. But in the 7 years between the battle we're about to talk about and the death of Edward I, Robert the Bruce does a number of really daring raids, and he garners a lot of support for himself as Scottish king, as he has been crowned King of Scotland. And with this, we come to a 1314, nailed it. And it is at the Battle of Bannockburn that 7,500 Scots line up against 20,000 Englishmen and just completely crush them. Like, it's not like it's not like 20 men were lost. It's the Scots did lose men, but they beat a force of 20,000. And we've talked about this before when we talked about some of the earlier conflicts in Scottish history. But in medieval history as a whole, it was surmised that you really only had to do 30 to 40% quote unquote damage to a enemy force or unit before they would flee. Remember, you had a lot of schiltrons were used very heavily in Bannockburn. You have these forces, and remember what we've talked about, right? The armies of the medieval age are divided into 3 different categories. You have the nobility, which is typically the knights or mounted men-at-arms of some way, shape, or form. You had soldiers that were also men-at-arms that were paid portions of maybe a nobleman's house or guard. You also had levies mixed into that group. Then on the third portion of that, you had some various form of mercenary group or fighting force that was being paid to stay in the army. So the only people that really had a stake in staying 7,000 versus 20,000, Yekta. The only people that really had a stake in the conflict itself were the smallest third of that fighting force, just the nobility and paid men-at-arms. The rest were pretty much like, oh yeah, you have to be here by feudal right and law and so on and so forth. So armies of 20,000 being defeated by 7,500 in medieval times is very common because so much of the force of usually the larger force was padded by mercenaries or purchased swords that felt no need to stay longer than they needed to. And as soon as they lost enough men, they were out. So, and a lot of this would start before the even melee got, a lot of this fleeing would start before the melee even got started because of the way archers would just decimate certain portions of unarmored infantry. So here we are, Bannockburn, this is huge. This is a crushing defeat, and it leads to King Robert the Bruce trying to open up a front on two, or trying to open up a war on two fronts, much like the Allied Alliance was intended to do. But England seems to be doing fine fighting France and Scotland. So he sends his brother Edward over to Ireland to basically start a third war over there. And Edward becomes High King of Ireland. But this unfortunately does not last for long. He is killed in Ireland, and that front never opens because he finds out that there's actually far more support for the English crown in Ireland than there is in Scotland. And Robert the Bruce's Robert the Bruce's intention was to essentially create a Gaelic front against England. And at the time, this whole center swath, I would say these three, I don't know in specific, but this whole center portion, so if we're just looking at the map, we'll divide Munster and Ulster at the top and bottoms. This is all controlled by England. These are independent. So, like I said, there's a lot more Irish approval, I guess you could say, of the English crown than there was in Scotland, Scottish approval of the English crown. And it's not until 1328 when the war is finally concluded and Robert the Bruce is recognized as king by Edward II. Actually, I think it might be Edward III who does it. I can't remember. But either way, England acknowledges him as king, and it is done. It's Edward II. It's Edward II because Edward II dies 1 year later. I'm sorry, Robert the Bruce does. So, 1328, Robert the Bruce finally becomes king, and then in 1329, he dies. And it's just the same thing over and over for Scotland, right? So England tries to say, hey, you know what? You have another problem with the succession? Well, don't worry. We got a king for you. In comes Edward Balliol, the son of John Balliol, and they say he has claim to the throne. Well, Robert the Bruce had a son, David II, and what essentially happens is David II flees down into France, and it is another time of looking at a note, occupation, but it starts the Second War of Scottish Independence. So, what this really kind of leads to is more back and forth between Scotland and England, but eventually the 100-Year War kicks off in France, and this pulls almost all of England's attention down into France. And David II returns to Scotland and assumes the throne and fights a pretty pivotal battle against England. And they actually invade into England. And what happens is they lose. And a pretty terrible fight, too. They lose, and David II is captured. And David II is held in England for 11 years. And he is finally ransomed back to Scotland, though, because England needs the money to fight the war in France. And with that, David II assumes the throne in 1341 at the age of 33, after, being in prison for 13 years. So this kind of ends the grand history of medieval England. And it's a handful of years after this when we start to get into stuff like the Renaissance, and then medieval Scotland, not medieval England, medieval Scotland. And Scotland goes and tries its hand at being its own global empire, right? Everyone's creating their colonies. Scotland tries to do the same. And then eventually becomes a member of the United Kingdom. And the United Kingdom flag is a combination of flags of the nations that make up the United Kingdom. And the kind of funny thing here is that Scotland kind of gets it in the end, because the Scottish, or the English monarchy, the monarchy that has reigned for in 1700 something, has been Scottish. So what, 400 years of Scottish descent, monarchy in England. That's kind of like the like gotcha at the end of it. Like, yeah, we fought back and forth, and you tried to get us out of here, but at the end of the day, we rule your country. It's kind of a funny little thing at the end of it. But that concludes our grand history of Scotland here. 400 years. Thank you, OS. They're German? I thought they were Scottish. Well, I must have gotten my fact wrong here. Edward the 7th in the 19th. Oh, that's it. Okay, yeah. That was it. Yeah, it's like the Scots rule. The Scottish like have the monarchy for like 200 or 300 years up to the current one, which is German. Okay, that was it. Sorry, guys. Queen Victoria's husband was German. Ginger Steve, what's up, man? How are you doing? I haven't seen you in ages. Yeah, Scotland went broke trying to create a colony. Damn right. Scottish Freemasons. Well, I mean, that kind of goes back to my statement I've said before, right? When people like, it's definitely an American sentiment of the French. The French, those guys, blah, 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 blah. Like, the people that led to the creation of the United States were people like the Scottish Freemasons helping out in the North. They were the French who assisted in blockading the English and actually sending us supplies and ammunition and artillery pieces that we could actually fight the British with. And it's also funny that France is we're one of the only nations that France hasn't had a war with directly. I think we did in like 1807, but that was like a minor one. And France has won almost all of its wars. There's always that kind of joke of like, oh, French, they don't know they don't know anything about war. They only know how to reverse or flee. I'm like, they have a very proud history. What's up, Chris? The new apartment's good, Jinja. I like it, man. It's nice having the master bedroom and having my own kind of bathroom and everything, kind of my own space, which is really nice. All right, so let's drink some Sneak, because I do that every fucking morning. I'm crazy. And let's get back to ruling Britannia, guys. If you haven't, you can check out Sneak. Boop, 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 boop. With the link in the description. It'll send you to the starter pack, which is the exact same thing I bought, where it just gives you like a smattering of flavors. But if you use Sparty at checkout, it does give me a commission and really helps out the channel, guys. But I'm recently an ambassador of Sneaks, but I've been drinking them for years and years and years. What I like about it is they don't tell me to say this, by the way. That's always like, oh god, of course he's going to say these things. He's sponsored. They just say what they told me in their email was, you're an ambassador. All you have to do is answer questions honestly about Sneak. That's it. You don't have to plug us. You don't have to push us into anything, but you just have to put our branding on like your channel banner and in your descriptions and all videos going forward, which like put your like a little link to us. That's it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Well, fine. I'll do that. But the reason I like them so much is because it's pretty much just caffeine and then like BCAAs and a number of other like innocuous things that pass through your system with 16 to 24 ounces of water. It's not like a monster where you're like, oh, what is in this? Why is my liver turning purple? Whew. You should, Brassiologist. Let me look here. Oh, that's not good. Yeah, where is that link? Here, let me grab it for you, man. Let's get that link. That was a long history lesson today, but I really wanted to hit it because on Saturday. Where is Link? On Saturday, I want to do a playthrough of some Bannerlord. I'm going to start a Bannerlord camp. Okay, now check the description. You should see that link. Sorry about that. Jamie Strongberg dropping in another 59 Swedish kronu. Thank you very much, man. Hey, Painting Coach. Guys, if please go and check out the Painting Coach's channel. If you like painting your Warhammer, if you don't even need to paint Warhammer. If you like, that's not the Painting Coach. This guy is not the Painting Coach. If you like just painting in general, Painting Coach has got some of the best tutorials, and they're really good, simple, easy, fun. They're not like a lot of really dense painting tutorials by people that, I mean, when I watch like Miniac is amazing, and he's also one of like the coolest people I've ever just like seen or talked to. But he is so goddamn good that every time I look at his painting tutorials, I'm like, I'll never ever do this, because he's like, yeah, you're just gonna do this and this, and like those 3 lines turned it into a work of art. Not that Painting Coach is bad. Painting Coach is amazing, but I feel like the approach Painting Coach takes with his videos is far more approachable, because he's not showing you the masterclass. And that's what Miniac does. He says, this is how I'm going to recreate the heavy metal team and how they do their models, which is like the pinnacle, right? You think of, if I'm looking at a Games Workshop model and it's like a beautiful looking model, it's probably heavy metal. So that's what Miniac's trying to do. Painting Coach just wants you to get your models on the tabletop. Like, it is, I love his tutorial. So please go and check him out. Great guy. Love him very much. Let's play some Britannia. Oh, Painting Coach, in my new spot, I've got a whole bunch of room right here, and I'm going to build out a hobby table, and I'm finally going to start painting and assembling again. It's been like a year since I painted, guys, like to the day. All right. Let's get medieval. So we got some stuff to take. Yilland. Got a little war going on here. Earldom of... Oh, okay. They're defending against him. I don't like that. Oh, okay. He's an ally in this. Okay, I see. Banked. So we just took this over. We just took over the top part of Denmark here, and we subjugated another subject here. And we're in a pretty commanding position. And let's take a look at our succession, because that is going to have an effect on things. I don't have any missing things. That should go away. Can go away. We have to give away 2 pieces of land. So let's make the decision here right now on what we do with our succession. So, ooh, I can't do that, huh? I should probably. I'm afraid to pass absolute tribal authority. The direct vassal opinion kind of scares me. It's really not that bad. I guess I should stop being a bitch about it. We got, I mean, some of my vassals won't like me, but we'll be able to kind of fix that. It's going to make, I think I should wait until my heir takes over and have him do it. That way he's not fighting a minus 20 vassal opinion anchor on him, because it's going to increase it by 10. This is, or by 20. Yeah, there you go. There you go, outpost. Good. Agreed, my dude. So let's look at what we've got. With succession, we're going to lose some titles. So I can kind of get around this. You see these 2 right here? They're going to go to my sons, Lawrence and Duff. And these are good sons. There's nothing wrong with these sons. He's got Robust Gillimonte, and she doesn't have anything. Lawrence, on the other hand, has got nothing. I haven't even married Lawrence off to anyone. I was just going to wait till like a really strong alliance and do it. Like, oh, look at this. I can do Lothrongia. I'll probably do this. Like, that just keeps another alliance in the bag here. But what I can, and I've given these two lands to Renaud. I don't know how I'm pronouncing, like I'm French, like Renaud, but I guess that's how I pronounce it. Gilliman lives. So these two locations I can give away to two different vassals, and then make this guy the Duke of Yilland. That'll kind of give him these guys overall. It'll keep him strong. Unfortunately, I couldn't give him this one and this one. This one's got the most. So we could do that. We give these away to two different vassals that are not my sons, and that's fine. I can do that. The succession won't mess anything up. It'll remove them from succession, if anything. And once I do that, I make him a duke, and he's in good position. He's shy, gluttonous, and impatient. So he's a fine vassal. The biggest issue here is the succession of the crown. So the empire, as it were, the High Kingdom of Britannia, will go to Constantine. And that's good, right? I think Constantine is the heir we want. He's a genius. His wife is pretty. So we're looking at this. Roderick is a potential next heir. Not her. I don't know how he got Hale, by the way. But they've got plenty of time to have another kid. Things are looking good over here. But the Kingdom of England will pass to Piglet. Piglet is also a very strong candidate here, and I could have him be my actual heir. It doesn't need to be Constantine. Well, actually, it looks like, yeah, the Empire title will pass to Constantine, and I can't add Tanistry. Unfortunately, I feel like you should be able to do Tanistry because that was a part of Scottish history. Like it kind of infuriates me that I can't. But Piglet can. I find your wife's face distasteful. Yeah, I can move to London and make it so that, because what's going to happen is, no, you can't, Rolande. You can't add Tanistry because we're not part of the Goidelic or Berthonic group. Scottish should not be. Scottish is marked as Northern Germanic, I think it is. West Germanic group. I think that's totally wrong. I think that has to be part of the Goidelic group, because the Picti and the Scots are different. And I think, are there any Pictish left? Yeah, Pictish is part of Berthonic, and Scot was the western portion of Scotland. The people of the Scotti were over here, and the Dol Rita, which was over encompassing on top of the Scotti, were Goidelic, were Gaelic. So I think that should be a Goidelic culture group. I think that's kind of unfair. The Scots are Anglo-Saxon. I did not get that from what I was reading, because Anglo-Saxon is derivative of individuals that came in the occupation of the Anglo-Saxons in the eastern portion of England. The Scotti are a group that are indigenous to Scotland that grew out of the Celtic parent group of the Kurgans that inhabited all of Western Europe and Germania. And what's it called time? Roman times. You've got Scotty over here, Picty over here. There's another one up there. I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, Scots or Gaelic. See, you guys are on it with me. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, Brythonic is... So anyone who's Brythonic, Cumbrian, Welsh, and Cornish are Brythonic. Pictish, I guess you could say, but Picti were indigenous. Brythonic means that it's a group of Romano... There's a term for it, I can't remember. Romano-Britain. It's basically the kingdoms that were left after the Romans left England. So let's take a look here now at Succession, get back on track. Sorry guys, history tangent. So Piglet will take England. The Kingdom of Scotland is part of Tanistry, and I can vote for whoever I want. That's right, aren't you... Where are you again, painting coach? I know you're Western England, so are you in Wales? Romano-British, thank you, OS. Welshman. Scotty, we're an ethnic group that grew up around the engineering deck on the Enterprise. They know that for their battle cry of, we don't have the power, Captain. You're right, sorry. I do know the difference between Welsh, English, Scottish, and Irish. And to say that, here's another little history tangent, guys. These are the kingdoms of the United Kingdom. So this is England. I don't know, Gregor. I've never played it. Great Britain is England, Wales, and Scotland. Is that Great Britain? Or is it just England and Scotland, or just England and Wales? And then United Kingdom is everything. So a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to go to Britain. Don't say that to them. England, Wales, and Scotland is Great Britain. Got it. Cool. Okay, so let's hit this now. So Piglet will assume the throne of England, and I wouldn't necessarily have a problem with that, but it's going to make for succession is going to be bloody, is all I'm going to say. This is going to be a particularly rough succession because whoever takes over England, well, okay, let me think of how to do this. Because if I move my capital into England, then... So the way Confederate partition works is... Edie, how are you? The way Confederate partition works, let's just bring this up and I'll show you. Upon succession, all titles held by the late ruler will be divided amongst the eligible children, with the player heir always being given the primary title and the realm capital and any direct dear titles associated with it. So... if I move my capital to London and I give myself the King of England title, which I have got, what will pass to my son by Confederate partition is the High Kingdom of Britannia, the King of England, because my capital is in England and its de jure title is King of England. And what will go from there is the Tanistry elective into the Kingdom of Scotland, which will go to whoever I nominate, which is going to be my son. And then lastly, what will probably be created is the Kingdom of Ireland, which will be ruled by Piglet. Exactly, yeah. What's up, Sam Bruce? How are you? You did miss history time, man. I'm sorry. So what I have to do, though, is just move... What do you mean, just move the England capital near Edinburgh? I can't do that? Can I... I don't think I can move a specific... I don't think I can move a title's capital. Oh, well, you see, Philip, I don't know. So usually it tells you in here if something is going to be created. It'll say these titles are lost in succession, and it'll tell you this is going to be created. Or, I can't remember... Will it create the Kingdom of Wales and Ireland for these two? All right, painting coach. Have a good one, dude. Well, Sam, take a nap, man. What's up, Colonel Burton? That's just how it works. You can create the English culture as a decision, actually. The English culture has not been created yet. I think if I move over here and I hold certain portions, I think it happens. I wish I could just simulate that, but he's fine. We're really not in any danger of dying. But honestly, this is the last episode, so we'll probably not even have to deal with it, to be totally honest with you guys. Earl Renauld. Do this. Click on a capital. Click on a capital in Northern Britain? Like, you mean England, right? So we'll click on Northumbria. Or we'll click on Diria. Yeah, I mean, I can always just swipe away my other brothers. County. Clicking on county. I mean, I own this one. We're waiting for... We're doing Bannerlord, Colonel. We're doing Bannerlord on Saturday, dude. I'm stoked on it. I've been hankering for it. If you do something amazing as a Scot or Welshman, you're British. If you do something horrible, you're Scottish or Welsh. No, that would keep the capital in Scotland, OS. You have to own a location to move your your thing there. So, consequently, though, what I would like to do is land... I would like to land Piglet. You don't seem worth anything to me. Oh, what kind of puppy did you get? So let's, since he's 22, I want him to have... Dude, Piglet's got some good kids, man. Pick some good kids, Pig. Where has Piglet been, anyway? Ooh, he's ambitious. I'm kind of scared of that, but... We can land him here. That was kind of the plan all along, was to land him in these locations. and then give him the Duke of Wessex. Should we do that, or should we land these 2 locations and give them to this and make this guy's Duke? Because this guy's going to be Duke of this location. You might be able to cut Piglet out of the inheritance by moving your capital to England, preferably Middlesex. I think that will make you inherit Emperor, King of England, and your capital. Yes, it will. Tom, if I do that, I will inherit these 2 locations. Wales and Ireland, I think, will create themselves. Set him up in Ireland? I actually can't. I don't have any territory to give him in Ireland. I found Wales? Well, I don't need to find it. And again, I don't really need to deal with that right now. So let's... we can do this right here to grab this little duchy. Smash this out. Raise these armies, and we don't even need to raise them all, to be honest. I'm really bad at not raising them all. Jutva attacking me? How dare you. Alliance formed. We don't need to gather any more than this. They can't amass an army strong enough to do anything. Where is my trebuchets? You guys will go there, and you guys will go there. So who is the leader of this army? I would like it to be my son. Where's he commanding an army? Oh, okay, good. I was like, fuck it. Better not be commanding an army. I shall ride for Edinburgh. I don't really think it's worth calling anyone to war. Yeah, Richard, you can get perks. So if you do a number of sieges, you can become a siege master. So my character here, he did not have military engineer to begin with, and he eventually got it by leading enough sieges. Now, I wish that there was a way to see that happening, or I don't know if there is just a chance to happen every time you do. So I'm not really 100% sure, to be totally honest with you. This guy's not a good commander. I should not have put him there. Yes. The Marshal. A terrible Marshal, man. I got bad news for you. Oh, you know what? He's actually a good vassal. He's a good Norse vassal, and that's what he's going to be. What are some features I'd like to see added? You know, I couldn't tell you offhand. I've thought of so many just off the cusp. And I wish I could wish I'd written them down and sent them over to Paradox and said, hey, I've got these ideas. Do with them as you wish. I think we're gonna. I'm waiting for the weekend, right? The weekend's gonna give a not the musical artist. The weekend's gonna give us some information on what's coming. Like the Paradox Fest or whatever it's gonna be called. Okay, so we've got that. Yeah, I'm really excited for that. Are all my knights over here? Dare you. Is it Saturday? Okay, it was Saturday. I thought it was Sunday. Fitze, man. Good to see you, dude. Don't worry about it. Go back to work. Make sure you take care of yourself. Drink some water. Stay hydrated. Stay safe. And if you do get COVID, make sure you take a regimen of vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin B, and baby aspirin. Oh, we'll watch it live. We're going to play Bannerlord too, so we'll probably do one and then the other. Anthony, I play Stellaris, but I did not play a ton of it, so I'm going to be giving... Yeah, I'll do it live here. I'm cool with that. I'm going to be jumping in hard on Stellaris. I want to really learn it and make guides for it. You know, like, I want to make a video that's how to play Stellaris in 2021. Roland Day, I'm with you, dude. Like, I would love another start date, but I think that the right way to do it... Oh! Just dump this guy. By Javert. Dude, he's so unsuspecting, too, man. Sorry. Spouse aids in martial studies. Focused student. Well, lovely. Chieftain Ragnar of Westfold. Ragnar's pretty badass. Ragnar, I honestly think, like, I know it's kind of become... Well, I want to do Stellaris, and I want to play the Star Trek mod. But I think Ragnar is, like, the most tropey Viking name. But because of Ragnar Lothbrok. But it is also one of my favorite names. Like, Ragnar from Ragnar Blackmane is one of my favorite characters from Warhammer 40k period. Although he's gotten a little more watered down and crappy in the last couple iterations of him. But, oh man. What, so is that what's coming with, Buell? I don't really know how to say your name, man. It's like a, is that like a submarine? U170700ZWBEWL. That's like, is that like the serial number of like a Russian nuclear reactor? That is terrifying. So what is Nemesis? I thought that was just like, oh, you can now play it on console. We got a donation. Let's look at what it says. Guys, again, do make sure if you want some sweet, hot energy, check Sneak out. You can go to sneakenergy.com, then use my code SPARTY at checkout. There is a link in the description. Oh, cool. It's someone purchased Fates Divided. Yeah, as always, guys, if you want, you can use my Nexus store. I feel like I plug a lot of things. I don't mean to plug a lot of things. I have a lot of things that I'm just excited about. Buell is fine? All right. Done and done, dude. I think I plug a lot of things because when you're a full-time YouTuber, like, this is my choice. I've made this decision. But is there any armies? I'm just kind of splitting people up and having them defend territory and moving people around the island here and seeing if making sure there's no conflict. But when you are like a full-time YouTuber, income is super unreliable. Like, It's just really down to what the algorithm wants to give you. Algorithm wants to push your videos out, stuff like that. So having stuff like paid sponsorships, like I'm going to be doing one for Conqueror's Blade because I actually really like Conqueror's Blade. That's why I'm going to do it. Like Raid Shadow Legends approached me and they're like, hey, we'll pay you $3,000. I'm like, that's not worth it. my dignity is not worth it. Like I have no interest in your game, so I don't want to do it. An espionage system and chance to how you gather intel about the empires. Done. I'm so into that. Uh, 1.5.8 is stable now. It is much stable now that it's in main branch. Yeah, Conqueror's Blade gets a bad rap, but it's solid. It is really good. My daughter Eva has given birth to a Lulach. I like that. Vikings? What Vikings are coming next week? Oh, Roderick, quick to anger. He is wrathful. Forgiving. What kind of education? And he's martial or fickle. I think wrathful kind of fits. Oh yeah. Rolling Days, yes. They actually approached me and said, "Hey, we're doing a campaign for that. Do you want to be a part of it?" I'm like, yeah, I do. Yeah, we're doing wrathful, Anthony. Yes, good. Be wrathful. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I gotta re-download and everything, but what I'll probably, they said hey, could you do a placement? Like, can you do a pre-roll? So like, hey, here's a video I'm gonna do. Here's like a 15-30 second ad, and do a dedicated video, and just those two. But I'm gonna tell them, hey, give me more money and I'll do a stream because I fucking love the game. Because I liked playing Kingdom Under Fire growing up. So if you like Kingdom Under Fire, it's the same premise, where you play one character, kind of like Dynasty Warriors, and you also control a small unit with you that you can swap out and be, okay, it's cavalry, it's archers, and so on and so forth. It's really fun. Yeah, I'll hit you up, Outpost. We talk all the time on the old Discord machine. Guys, join the Discord if you so wish. Yeah, Rolling Days, I agree with you. Although, I mean, it's also fun to play solo. I don't find it too bad. Oh, crap. I didn't realize that. I was like, where's these armies at, man? Okay, so we got to disband. Let's get everyone combined, and we got to just disband all of our men-at-arms. Give me one sec, guys. I just looked at the time. I have to feed the gatos. Let me feed the cats real quick. I do longsword and shield because I like the ability to play like a healer. Here. Here's Turbo. I can't hold him for long because he does not like to be held. But I gotta go feed this giant orange cat. Like that. Like I said, he's like, ah! Okay. Man, that is a big fucking cat, right? Guy's a monster. So Edie got a PS5, an Xbox Series X, a puppy, and a vaccine. I'm 3 for 4 right now. Good job, Edie. I also have a PS5. I have I got a 30 series graphics card. I lucked out. My friend was like, "Hey, I just bought it, but I also got another one. Do you want this extra one? You got to pay me for it." I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I'll pay you for it." So I bought it at what he paid for it. But I can also get a vaccine. So I might be getting that next week. But if you want to unite the kingdom, if you want to unite the United Kingdom, Simmer player, probably 1066. Playing an 867 can be particularly challenging if you're tribal, because going into feudal, you'll lose a ton of power. So if you're not really used to the game, that can be quite hard to deal with. So maybe I don't really have the money to do this. Right, do I have this? Where are they? I think I kept the levies here. Your Portsmouth. So I don't know if you guys knew this. All these levies are broken up into your individual vassals' levies. But we're going to disband the knights and the men-at-arms, and basically, yeah. This guy can stay here. Oh, there's the light footmen of that other army. Them, because men-at-arms will immediately repopulate. So we're kind of being a little gamey right here, but I didn't. This is my bad, and to prevent you from kind of getting in this gamey situation like I'm clearly doing, what you should do is you should be raising your armies intelligently, and I did not do that. So what I can now do is now choose this over here, raise these men all right there immediately, and attack this. So they'll lose, but these are hired soldiers. It's fine. I want to pin them down. Do this, and then I can do raise all here. And this will raise men-at-arms and everything of the sort. Then I can take myself put him there. We'll take these armies, kind of put them closer over there. I have this guy over at the capital because the AI always likes to bum rush your capital. Wow, they kind of like crushingly defeated this army. But that's okay. I have all my superior forces coming to destroy them. And they got there before they could move, which is perfect. And I have... This is pretty much just levies and men-at-arms with all my knights. So it's going to be a pretty rocking, crushing victory here. And if we can defeat them before it progresses into the early battle phase, then we win all outright. And we just did. So now I can kind of use this land bridge to go over and attack their locations. And they're all pretty beat up now at this point. I haven't seen this arm, any of these armies. Ooh, we have. I just haven't seen this one. Because now the problem is all my strong stuff is over here. And nothing's over here. In fact, I'm actually going to send another set of units up here to help out in Edinburgh in case they attack the capital. Yeah, if you defeat them before the early battle phase ends, and you immediately get to jump into the next phase. So how much is that going to cost me to do that? $19 gold will do it, just to get over that location quickly. Norse culture. A commoner of Norse heritage has been accosted in the streets of Edinburgh over some minor offense. By making a statement in their defense, I could perhaps convince my vassal, Jarl Anulfur, the equally Norse of my good character, but I might risk alienating my Scot peers. Norse are good people. Do it. Oh, well, looks like we didn't. Looks like we didn't do it. And do that. Oh. Do we have anyone for the war score on that? Yeah. Captured the air. The braid, what's wrong with you, man? Why do people want to kill you? Shot the villain, fabricate a hook. Okay, that was what it was. I don't know who's fabricating all these hooks, but it's kind of scary to be totally honest. Let's go ahead and enforce these demands. Hostages were released, but we kept the ones that were juicy. Disband all. And now Britannia is looking a little bit more complete. So we have this. And since he probably wants that, right? Yeah, desires the lordship. We'll grant him this vassal. Because he wants it anyway. Right, take it. That completes his to your borders. Okay, so if he dies, where does this go? It goes back to Viken, which is funky. It shouldn't really work like that. But we have some really good, some pretty good dudes here. We can ransom off. Ivar, okay, yeah, we'll ransom you. Ransom you. Ooh. Is this your heir or something? Yeah, it's your primary heir, no less. Yeah, we'll ransom you for 100. Why not? Holla. Holla! And a nice little 10 on you. Oh, and you're so young, too. Be gone. Leave my court. We're going to take we want to take Cornwall, yes. Give me 1 second, guys. We'll be right back. I need to use the restroom 2 seconds. I'm all over the place. There we go. And we're back. Sorry. That went from like a... Huh. Might need to use the... I gotta use the restroom. Okay. So... Alright. Has it claimed the count of... Ooh. So we got quite a bit of money from all those captives. Just think we should release them. Ooh, and rival? Well, a prisoner and a rival. I gained so much from killing a rival. It's gonna happen. Done. Yeah, I'm better off just doing these on my own. Be converted and released from my realm. Asbjorn. Oh man, it was a hell of a number 2. Nice Berserker here. Got another one. All you gotta do is convert. That's all I need you to do is convert. And you'll do it. And this guy too is be a nice little vassal. We'll do that. So here's what we should do. Got quite a few lands we got to give away. Let's take care of that now. So I am ambitious. So it really comes to... Whoa, what's going on over here, man? Oxford claim on Earl Oldham Berkshire. Dude, so Oxford's trying to get big. They're trying to get really big. I don't like that. Why does he want... What is he so mad about? Wants a seat on the council? He might have earned one. But High Chieftain Talor is... Until he passes away, it is definitely not him on the council. But this is probably going to go through. Ah. And he's just in a stronger position, probably. Unless they have a crushing defeat somewhere. But we'll see how that we'll see how that plays out. Because I wanted to create this duchy, and I didn't because I was a little scared of what was going on. I can just make this guy the Duke. Because these are the two that are fighting, and just make him the Duke since I put him here to be the Duke. But man, it is kind of hectic over here. Dude, this guy is forever old. 77. Whole of body though, man, like he's just holding it up. Yeah, you cannot play as the Pope yet, at least. We got to fix the domain limit thing, so let's deal with that right now. So, what do we do, guys? Do we give Winchester and Carisbrook to Piglet? It will then land Piglet, and I would give him the Duchy of... I don't have any other duchy titles. Yeah, I would then give him the Duchy of Wessex. Or do we usurp Yilland over here? Yilland been dealt with? Whoa, they took that. Well, that's cool. Lancaster. Dublin's part of Lancaster. Yep. No, that's not very... That's kind of against what I wanted, but it is what it is. Or do I land these two locations and then create the Duke of Yiland and give it to this son? What do you guys think? I can only do one or the other because I have 8 out of 6 and I'm ambitious. So dropping below that 6 is not good. But when I do that, that'll cut these sons out of succession. Piglet is still something to worry about, but again, I don't think we're going to deal with it in this episode. Look at all my alliances. Press West Francia. Java. So we lost Aquitaine? Oh, Aquitaine's right there. Now, we used to have La Thrangia, which is huge. We can still create that, though. Oops, we can arrange this marriage with my son and his daughter and make for a little alliance. Piglet is not my heir. My primary heir is Constantine, who is the Duke of Albany. But we can cut the Kingdom of England out of the succession by moving our capital down here to Middlesex. Are the Byzantines going nuts still? Yeah, dude, the Byzantines... Oh, now they're eating up Croatia. Bulgaria kind of got some a foothold back here, though. This portion was all Byzantine, but Byzantine, look, they've got this portion of the steppe over here. They're pretty crazy. Oh, good question here. So, Edie... 72 and 103. 303 and... 3. So, low county control and domain limit, yeah. So, give him the weaker of the two. Well, this son is already set to take out Yiland. Yiland will, he'll be in enough. These I'm just going to give to 2 different vassals, so he can be the Duke of Yiland after that. And I might give him to like either Insular Norse to convert these locations, or just to Scott Insular and convert these locations. A freshly shaved head? Oh, Josh, it's so hot right now. Everybody in chat, say hi to Josh. Josh and I have played innumerable MMOs together, and I have heard him drunkenly sing Britney Spears whilst having, like, I think he downed 2 bottles of red wine, and he was just on a bender. He had it going on. What say you guys? Do we create the Duchy of Wessex? Well, I'm not giving this to Piglet, Edie. This son is already in line to become the Duke here. I can't... These locations are already in the line of succession for these 2 sons. So how I'm going to cut them out is by giving these lands to 2 different vassals, and then giving him the dukedom over those 2 vassals. Versus over here, I'm giving these 2 lands to Piglet, and then giving him the dukedom of Wessex. I think we'll go here. I mean, I want to land Piglet on the off chance that I decide to go with him. But he's got 13 intrigue and he's ambitious, so I'm kind of scared of that. Kent still has Middlesex, and I kind of want that for myself to move the title or the thing there. Well, you can't just give him the dukedom without him holding lands there. Make that one instead of Piglet. Which one outpost are you talking about? Are you saying give... Are you saying take care of Yilland with Ronald? Is that what you're saying? Get Sachu over here. Promote the culture. Pictish has been dealt with up there. Ooh. Touch of Mercia, huh? Well, that's kind of scary. I don't like to give anyone who has claims stuff. What? I said not a ruler. Oh, he has claims. Where are you? Oh. Interesting. Okay. So what about some of these cultures? Let's do not Scots. Actually, specifically, let's just do Norse. Because if we do Norse, we can hopefully get a better result. Or, you know what, maybe we just do Scot and try and, like, really push this. Ulfir here would be really great, though. Forgiving, temperate, and content. And then this guy, trusting, brave, and wrathful. Ooh, I think that's pretty solid. Or maybe Baldur here. Fickle, gluttonous. We'll do one. He'll get one. Arahus will go to opinion of me. It's gotta be good. Thorbrandr. Faithful Thinker. Anders. Pretty good. Baldur's pretty good there. Yeah, Baldur might be really solid. He's homely though. God, look at that. Maybe we just do another Scot to kind of get that ball rolling here. Gilroy here. Isn't he particularly good? No, he's not. He's terrible. He's forgiving, which is good. Oh, I'm well aware of inheritance. It's going to be spicy. Vicious though. Not be good. Talor McTalor de Ramsey. Guy's sickly. You know what? I think it's going to be... I think there's better options for Norse than there were for Scots. Which is unfortunate. We'll go back to opinion of me. And we'll go to... Yeah, this guy will do. Perfect. And then you... I don't hang the title. Create the title. Duchy of Yeeland. Perfect. So he's a duke, and he's a great character too. I mean, look at that. Good learning. All right, Anthony, have a good one, man. Thanks for jumping in, brother. 2 champions. That's just hog swoggle. That'll fix itself. So really the last bit of land that we can't even grab is West Francia. I think even if he dies... Who's his heir? Yeah, if he dies, we can't really do it. Alliances. These just internal alliances? Yeah, I mean, they're just internal alliances. It's cold down here, Edie. It's damn cold down here. So we're at the 2-hour mark, and we have pretty much completed our mission. And now we're going to keep playing, of course, for the next hour. What's up, Jake? How you doing? Thank you very much, man. The work shall be kept up. You know, I've actually never dealt with... I've never dealt with kings underneath an emperor. I've always tried to keep people at duke. So, man, Oxford is just juicy. They're so big. I'm really going to have to work on him after this. I even sent him a gift that will work. 36. He's intimidated by me? Yeah. Well, you know... Ooh, natural dread, control growth. Oh. Strategist it is. So we could stay on Marshall, but it might behoove us to switch on over to like a medicine focus, start doing some stuff, or diplomacy focus. What are my other natural... I mean, I've got 19 learning, which is because of a lot of stuff going on. I can switch to diplomacy. What do you guys think? Should we just stay on Marshall? Yeah, you have to have really, like, low power kings. Alright, Hugh, have a good one, man. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Duchy of Lancaster has your drift towards progress. Progress towards Kingdom of Scotland. Oh. Of 7 years. I don't really... I mean, I can't do this. I can't integrate a title. Your drift is one of those ones I'm really bad with. I don't really... Like, this I get, right? We'll become a part of the Kingdom of Scotland in approximately 90 years. I get that. Well, in 91 years. Get it. But what does this mean? Duchy of Lancaster has de jure drift progress towards Kingdom of Scotland of 7 years. That one I don't understand. Oh, Moravian claim on the earldom of Inner Hebrides. I won't have that. So who are the two aggressors here? The attacker is Moray. Oh. Oof, that actually, they might win that. We'll let it kind of do its thing. Keep low energy by denying them sneak energy. Fine. Fine. Titles that can be created, there's tons of those. The bean counter of Dennenberg. Dude, Duke Sighelm just keeps shitting the bed over here. Okay, we need to fix this. Well, this will fix once he becomes of age, to be honest. And this needs to be fixed. Oh, it's the same thing. Oh, I got you. Okay, I see what you're saying. There we go. Insular. Good. Now, offer guardianship. Let's have someone who is... Well, this is actually a pretty good guardian. Because he's content, calm, and temperate, and that might transfer to the child. But... Is this my court position? Yeah. Badass court position. It is right there. Why is my daughter ill? My daughter better not. My daughter better be okay. Piglet, use your brain. Your strong brain. Become Scott. You dropping $10 and saying, or your what? Your PG&E bill? Power, gas, and energy? There it is. For your power, gas, and energy bill, because the struggle is real. $10 donation from Edie. Thank you very much. And it is, damn, I think it's like 66 in my house right now. Pacific Gas and Energy. Guess you're not PG&E. I don't remember who I am down here. This stuff, this war is getting a little crazy over here. It's got a lot of Scotland embroiled in, or a lot of like the Empire embroiled in it right now. Two duchies, and my son is part of it. Like, oh, be careful. Aha, Lemere, trusty mare. A renowned trainer has approached me after hearing rumors of my mighty mare Lemere, and offers her services. All I ask in return is a small compensation. She needs to be stronger, move more swiftly is something she needs to learn. She needs to work on her endurance. If there's one thing she is lacking, it is finesse. I'm not interested. What is the effect of these? What does that do? So he's still trying to get that independence, but that's fine. Do whatever he wants. Okay. Let's do... Okay. More prowess. Had a deck out for a minute. How did I miss? Not much YouTube, but good to see you, man. So if I get more prowess if I do stronger. She lives longer if I do endurance, which I kind of like. I want my horse to die before I do. It'll probably happen because that's the way things work. Fierceness? What is that, I wonder? That might be martial. That increases my martial ability. Absolutely, Neogenesis. Thank you very much for watching. I'm glad you're enjoying it, my guy. Less likely to get caught in battles. Well, that's okay. We don't really fight a lot of those battles these days, anyway. We're older, more esteemed. We're a king of kings. Let's go endurance. I kind of like that. She needs to work on her endurance. Fierceness gets you more levies. I see. Well, we don't have a problem with levies, so let's go with endurance. Spend the money to make the money. What's up, DC? I mean, go take the earldoms, man. They're not mine to give. Enduring Warhorse. Stress loss minus 25. That's actually pretty sweet. Where's Waldo, which meant King of Kings. Interesting. I mean, do you really deserve this? You're going, man. You're on a drinking binge right now, too, dude? Like, your son will not be on the council, that's for sure. Another independence faction, huh? Oh ho ho! Joining in with the rebels, I see. Well, there's one way to deal with you. Kill him. I think we need to work on our vassals. Like, this guy is kind of not liking me very much, but why? It's because he wants to sit on the council. I mean, he would be good on the council, but not amazing. My titles, Clementia. We can make him here. That'll appease him for now. See, that gives him a little bit more. Because the minor title, because of the mod, gives me like 20. On the council, 10. This guy is getting old. The troll burster. Rose can marry. Katarina comes of age. Ooh, mastermind philosopher. Who is it? Of Aquitaine? Yes. Send the proposal. No. My child. Okay, what does that do here? So we have one emperor, one count by marriage. I thought that would also do these. Oh, is he not landed? He is not. You better take care of her, man. Oh, she's in my court. That's right. Whoopsie. Is anyone not unmarried? He's the only one that's unmarried. What if I did this? What if I just sent him from the court? Like, go off and get married and stay in their court. France took out Cornwall. It's kind of annoying, and I can't take it back from them because we're allied. So I have to wait for this guy to die. Which, I mean, it could happen. Alright, Outpost. Have a good one, man. We're coming up to the end of the episode anyway, so you're not going to miss a whole ton. But thank you very much for watching, brother. I mean, I'd like to create... happen over here. Who is the... almost saying a vassal. Probably this dude. Actually, I think if I create that duchy title, it will force me to take the title, which I don't want. And usually any capital I take, I want the accompanying duchy. I mean, I think honestly we're in like a really strong position. I'm kind of just letting this all build up, do its thing. I don't know where to go next. Where do we go, guys? I mean, I could try to make the Kingdom of Denmark and then let it go independent. Like, that actually would be pretty cool. I don't know how that works in succession, though. If I land and create independence for my kids... like, what if Ronald became the King of Denmark after I created this? Like, we create the Kingdom of Denmark, and I give it independence. Take Norway and go full North Sea Empire. I wish you could actually have that empire. It's just the Empire of Scandinavia. We could go take Iceland. That'd be kind of fun. Oh, he's on the deathbed here. So what do we do? Do we do, he has one kid. William McRonald. Yeah, that's... So do we create the Kingdom of Denmark, or do we go take Iceland, guys? What is it going to be? Just say in chat Iceland or say Denmark. Test what? What would you like me to test? Or I shall test it for ye. Okay, this guy is going to get... This guy's going to get attacked. Denmark? You guys want me to do Denmark? Oof. This... War against the tyranny of Jarl Berger. Okay, let's do that. Okay, what's happening? My vassal chieftain Kermail has arrived outside my castle with a grand procession of well-dressed diplomats, champions, and exotic entertainers. The fellowship resembles a parade led by Kermail himself. In a booming voice, Kermail announces that he is here to pay homage, and that he comes bearing gifts of gold. Such generosity is hard to find in a subject. Kermail's loyalty is truly something to treasure. Is it? A fearless villain? Please enter. Deposit the gold on your left. He pays 50 gold to you. He gains opinion of you, and you gain this. What? Surely you have more to give. He pays me even more. Loses opinion, and I gain prestige. Keep the gold. Your friendship is enough. I kind of like that route. Because it's 50 gold. It's not gonna make the bank here. Yeah, keep the gold. Your friendship is enough. An insular Irishman, who I would definitely go as far to keeping. Oh man, that was not the guy I was about to make. I was about to make Duke. Let's just be honest here. I was gonna make this guy Duke and not him. Ooh, yeah. Oh, the lover's secret. Learn that. You came to my court to have a celebration, and I learned of your secrets. How do you like that? How's this going over here? They haven't had a single fucking fight. They've just kind of like danced around each other. Stop the war and put an end to that. And then, okay, we'll do Denmark. Perfect. That is over with. So how do we do this? Let's see what we get from it. Declare war. So we've got a lot we can do here. We can do a war on the kingdom and do it of Denmark. Because we have not done this yet. Do it on a duchy. There's 2 duchies that we need. We need Skane and Yealand. Who's got claims? Asbjorn's got claims. Subjugate. I'm not going to subjugate. I can't. I've already done it too. So we could do the kingdom. Did we do that? Perhaps? Kingdom of Denmark. Pedro, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that. Thanks for jumping in, dude. Neogenesis. I'm still learning the succession laws myself. Currently have a playthrough where I founded the Empire of España and divided all the kingdoms among my sons and son-in-laws. Yeah, it gets really dicey, dude. YOLO swag. How dare you? Denmark. Okay, let's save before we do this because we can jump back to it if things kind of get wonky. What the hell just happened there? Alright, good. Charge my little thingy thing. Well, it's not a lot for a kingdom war because this is the kingdom title, and we already own so much of it, David. We're just 2 duchies short. Actually, we could just create the duchy and have your war for it, but is there anyone? Oh, we could sneak a war in. We could do this. So what we can do actually is, this is kind of tricksy. We could do a war on the Kingdom of Sweden for this county. I just click this county. County is this. Okay, for this county. And then we would have enough counties to create the Kingdom of England or of Denmark, and then do a war for it, rather than doing the holy war for it, which could possibly get kind of out of hand. That might be the better bet. Are they about to get stupid strong though? Conquest of Plios. Interesting. Oh, they're just an ally in it, I think. Vendors and attackers. Yeah. What's up with the Rura kids over here? So that's what I think we'll do real quick. They don't have a sizable force at all, so we can just kind of pop over there quickly. This war county. Let's go right. Where's the land bridges? This land bridge over into here? Right? Yeah. Okay. Raise my armies. Send them across. You know, I screwed up again. I should have saved some for back home if they go to attack back here. Oh, look at this. This guy's going to just take out that vassal. Alright, you do as you wish. So trusting, it's not bad. Enemy house success chance plus 50. Or content, not terrible. Or fickle. Losing stewardship sucks. This is going to be my son's primary heir, is what it looks like, right? Oh, he had 4 granddaughters out of you. Piglet's looking pretty promising all of a sudden. Yeah, I really wasn't thinking it through, bastard. I'm gonna send some north to kind of see if we can get some prisoners and get some ransoms done. But do we content? But remember, this guy could potentially become an heir, or he could potentially become a ruler. Well, you see, David, we won't even need to do it. We'll have the de jure rights to it. Jawline of an emperor. The true steel, like that. Yeah, Tom, 100%. This isn't the best heir in the world. Like, look at that. Intelligence is not terrible. I just wish it was genius. It's only 38 stress, and I've got 0 stress. Become content, intriguing. Well, I do kind of want him to be learning. Yeah, we'll go content maybe. Trusting, help learning. No, it's intriguing, diplomacy. Fickle is yeah. We'll do. You know what? We'll do content. We'll do it. We'll screw it. Screw it. So we'll get everyone over here. We'll start the siege. We'll split off and go up north because that's level 3. Some stuff. He's almost good. Let me actually take a look. My vassals. Is anyone else particularly bad that we should switch to first instead of this guy? No, everyone's pretty solid. Yeah, like 7. That was really good. I wish I could order the vassals. I could put them in order of, like, stuff over something. Okay, so I think we need to work on him now. Because there's diminishing returns if you keep swaying one target. Okay, so everyone's gonna coagulate here. Okay. Now combine all these armies. Station besiegers. Reorganize. Leave like our less experienced knights. Just 2. You know what? I'll even go a little crazier here. Is the supply in this region? 4,000? Let this army out immediately. change this commander to my son. We shall go attack this. The capital of Sweden. The salt mines with you. Sunkenny, the reason I'm not is I'm waiting for my son to do it because I'm not dying. I'm great health, but I'm 53. If I do it during my reign, it makes my son's succession that much harder. Oh no. Gilles Leblanc, my friend, he has died. He was a good man. He's been there for ages. For ages. He was the Duke, one of the counts over here. So his, oh my god! Oh, your son looks great! Holy shit, dude. And the reason I didn't make him the my son's subject is because it would kind of divide this land. So that'll be that. Now. Let's see if we can find some things in Oxfordshire. I don't like how... Oh, so he created the Duchy of Which. I don't know. He did it, might as well grant him the vassal. It's just going to make him happier. He wants this one, right? Gloucestershire. Gloucester. Grant that vassal. There's your lands. You're all good. That guy's just taking that vassal out. He doesn't care. Gwynedd, I'm just letting it create its own. That's what I intended this to do. 309, 374, 615. Lord Pandolf. I mean, Pandolf's badass. I mean, he'd probably make a really good duke. Trusting, cynical, and generous. Oh, you know what? If that's the case, convert! And you. Convert! Oh, okay. Well, guess you won't. How about you? Okay, you're good. How about you? Convert! How about you? Convert. Still a lot of Welsh in Welshland. In Wales. Welshland? What's wrong with me? Catholic? Convert! Well, I already tried to do that, I see. Can't do it another 2 years. Convert, tiny countess. Try it. Okay, so we're doing that. We're doing this over here. Let's station these besiegers and let's just kind of push further into northern Sweden. We can't really keep forces here for too long because of the supplies. Kind of a bunch of levels here. We'll put another siege guy here. Duke Ewan will be just fine. And I will continue to lead the northern armies into Sweden. Our armies north into Sweden. It's a weak hook on you? Nope. Won't take it. Weak hooks are the death of your council. Because what will happen is... Versions... It's a weak hook on you. Nope. Because if they get the weak hook, they'll force themselves on the council. That's usually what happens. Or they'll take the... They'll take their... hook, and they'll use it to lower their contract, which isn't that's the best outcome, I would say. Because your feudal contracts, yes, they're good to manipulate, but you really can't do a whole ton with them, to be totally honest, in my opinion. I'd say the best thing to do with feudal contracts is the special contract rights like this. Vassals, these are the things that really benefit modifying your feudal contracts with. The high contribution to levies are massive. Those are pretty good, but I really think this is where you get the most out of it. Okay, let's just kind of keep pushing up. Go all the way up here into Summerland. What is the O with the double dots over it? How do you pronounce that? No, Tom, but a lot of places we've taken were feudal, and they remain to be feudal because of our authority. So tribal rulers can, tribal rulers with non-tribal lieges may settle, becoming feudal or clan. Okay, so this war, their war is now probably over. Let's push. Bring my son's army up here. Yeah, that's good. Go there. Oh yeah, there's some people like, dude, like the Byzantine. Dude, what if I hadn't done a subjugation, and that's what I tried to? What is this? Why is that not like highlighted when I click Byzantine Empire? That's good. Lawrence comes of age. All right, Lawrence, little little charismatic negotiator. Good for you, man. You grow up fast. Let's find you a someone, an alliance. I mean, we've got Aquitaine, but I think Lothrongia, that would be good. I mean, we could do Asturias. But dude, look at Aquitaine. I mean, Lothrongia is so strong. 4,400. Not as strong as Asturias is 2,100. We've already had alliances with Lothrongia, so maybe it's kind of a cool continuation of what we once had. And this isn't a favored son, you know. He's just kind of like Lawrence could go be a painter. You can do whatever he wants. So to do Lothrongia, we keep all the French locations under one alliance. Moravia, huh? It'd be interesting to marry into Sweden, but we're at war with them. Interesting. Violent is her name. That's terrifying. Yeah, let's do it. Let me pee real quick, guys, and get some water. It'll be a two-pronged attack. Be right back. Gotta mute the mic, you can hear it now. Okay. That. The art. Lawrence Alpin. Oh. We made the offer. What's on here? The Carling family is Bavaria. Interesting. Excellent. Another secret exposed. Ha ha! Use my vassal of having an... What? How dare you, man? What have you done this for? We'll move her to house arrest first, because that will help out. Because it helps out with any disapproval issues, anything like that. And then we'll just ransom her back to that guy. What's the leak of the DLC, you guys? Apparently it's Norse themed. This seems to be the thing. I did not see it though. What's happening? We could probably even... You know what? I'm gonna have him go here. As long as this is over? Yeah, we can make that quicker. About to finish this one. Got some prisoners as well. This will work out pretty well, I think. Yeah, I mean, X86 guys, that doesn't surprise me. The Northern Lords. He says it was always going to be Vikings with the features they were doing for the patch, winters, duels. Makes total sense to me. Excuse me. When you live with cats, you sneeze a lot. Ba-da-da-da-da-do. Yeah, Vikings are just the thing, right? Like you have Assassin's Creed Valheim. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you've got Kaldheim. You've got Valheim. You've got all these things that are out right now. Uh-oh. Big force coming in. Oh, they can't even siege this. The fort at Upland's huge. Okay, so let's back off of here. Get our forces back over here. Kind of get them... Kalavar Dynasty. Shona. Has had Alan McAlpin. Well, Alan can be whatever he wants. Not even impressive. Will we even make the square? Uhtred, son of Uhtred, does not fear you. Make the square, Father Bioka. Okay, so they're going to go over there to siege that, and we're going to go pin them down as soon as both these forces kind of meet right here. Do one more round. What do you mean he's about to leave court? Duff, you don't leave court. What, you want a title? You want a title? You choose a title. I got a million of them. I'm trying to port. This is nice because Skane was trying to raid this, and they are killing them, but it's going to cost them some of their own army. I've never actually seen this on the battlefield. I've never actually seen the thing, I don't think. good Insula. I am known as a deeply pious man. Surely my devotion to God should be good for something in this life too, and not only the next. There are a number of people who would do well to be reminded that I am the Lord's good graces. My dedication should be shouted from the towers. I've been too lenient with the Abbey this year. Oh God. Or the priors are already in awe of me. Pious lead. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. We don't need to extortiate people for this. Okay, combine our forces, merge these armies, and head south as they try to take this. How long is it going to take? 2 months, and this siege is going to take 9 months. We're going to catch you. Thank you very much, Hermansky. I appreciate that. All right. Why is it 92% that we're good? Did we take someone? Oh, captured an heir? Even better. Who's the heir that we captured? Ooh, let's see what to expect. My cousin has had an extramarital affair with her lover, Skellen. Ugh. Alright, well. Ooh! Go ahead. Her. I mean, if she's gonna give me a shit ton of money. I mean, she's my cousin, though. I'm not a tyrant here. Ugh. It's just go. Leave. Oh, the peace acceptance perk. Good call, bastard. I mean, I feel dirty. I feel dirty ransoming my cousin for having a stroke of incest. Well, not incest. Sorry, she's just an adulterer. It just feels dishonest. It feels against my character. I feel like he would be someone who is like wrathful though to those situations. Like you've sullied the name of the family by doing this. Valhalla bound and seeking traits. Let me see. Nope. A warrior of faith. Is Matheo the blameless? Yeah, I don't know, man. I kind of feel dirty doing this one. All right. You got a good point. She'll take advantage of other ways. Okay. So who do we have? Okay, so we have this child. Worth a hefty bit of money. We have a Rurikid? What do we have a Rurikid doing here? Son of Chieftain Skill. Okay. That's a sick coat of arms. Vex not the horse. Oh. Go to house arrest. No one dies in these dungeons. Been showing the signs of pregnancy. Oh, now everyone knows. Pregnant with a kid. Did we need to do that fight? No. But I figured it'd be... That wasn't the same person. Weird. Some her. All right. We'll enforce these demands. I mean, I think I can. Okay, so war score from objectives, from battles, and then from occupied holdings. I think we could probably ransom that prisoner back to her, I think. What do you guys think? Because I can ransom the prisoner back to her and make 170 gold off of this fight. Am I wrong in that? Like that's how that all adds up, if I added that correctly. So, I mean, this alone, 50 plus 52 is 101, or I'm sorry, 102 plus the 19. Plus this. Yeah, let's give it a go. I've never done that. We'll do that ransom. Yeah, like you just said, Neo, the worst that happens, we take another county, which we are poised to do over here. Yep, it worked. We destroy their army and bankrupt them, and then we won the war. Disband all of our armies. Good, good, good. Make some dosh. So now we're at a point where I think we can do this. So let's save before we try this, because I don't know if it's going to... So what might happen is... if I create the title of the King of Denmark... Denmark... Now, what did this do for succession? Okay, good. So it goes to him, which is perfect, because now we can do this. Declare war on... Oh, what? I should be able to do my claims. I mean, the whole point of this was to avoid doing this. Maybe we have to do this. Maybe we have to grant him the title of king and then go to a war for his claims. Yeah, I should be, oh, maybe I have to be feudal to do that. Let me see. Let's try that. Let's give him this title. We'll just give it all to him, because he's going to be the king of it anyway. Matter. He can divvy it up how he wishes. And with it, interesting. We can't even do it on his claims. So those would be, that would de jure be part of his land. So I would be able to do that war, I would thought. That's really interesting. Now, I just want to see something else. We're going to reload, but... Interesting. So even though he's the king of Denmark, he does not get... Oh, I would have had to have given him this vassal. Interesting, interesting, interesting. What happened to you, man? You used to be a really good diplomat. Okay. So yeah, I forgot to give him this vassal. Okay, so we'll reload. If I give him this vassal, though, he'll take that territory. So I would need to do a claim on this. I would need to do fabricate a claim on Desmond and remove that from him. Actually, I think I can just revoke this. Because otherwise, if I give this vassal to my son, then in the coming conflict, he will basically just take it with him. Or in the independence, he'll take it with him. So let's give Britannia here, or Brain, just to a Norse character. Norse culture, insular Christianity. Not a ruler, please. There you go. Bow will do. Look at this guy. That'll fix itself. Now we'll do or declare war on the Holy War on the Kingdom of Denmark. And we will definitely be pulling in our bros. Let's get, well, Rongia chiefly among them because they're closest. Then Frankia, and then you're gonna have quite the scuffle, bud. And this is going to be a big carpet sieging. Oh yeah, just look at these. This is going to get disgusting. 21,000 to 5,000 right now. Wait for Aquitaine to join in. Oh, 23. Now it is a holy war, so other Asatru people can join this. And the nice thing is, their capital's all right here, so we're just going to go balls out for everything. Okay, do we stay in military though, or do we yeah, it's overkill, all right. But DC, I wanna push that advantage. Let's all go right here. Okay. Merge this. We'll station besiegers, and I want those besiegers to only be levies. You will move right here because they're about to disembark right there, and it's going to be a massacre. This will be my son. Let him just keep doing his thing. But this will seriously be a butchering. Because they get that disembarkation penalty. So this will be rough. Earl cut a wounded Lord Mayor Starkather. Oh man, we might even beat them before we get to here. 6 days, can it happen? This will completely destroy the army. Oh! Oh! Dunst! And I mean, we don't even need to do more. There's no reason to make this war last any longer. What did he... He's a ransom of 97. It's not even worth it. It's honestly better off to just be done with the war. Holy crap. We didn't even need to spend all that. We didn't even need to spend all that prestige. I thought that was going to be way more protracted of a war. And just disband all. So we are now huge. Look at the lands of Britannia. Look at how commanding this empire is. I want to go for Iceland. Iceland's got to happen now. You know what would be really interesting though? Just so that you couldn't like abuse the fact that you can have just a super strong character. It'd be interesting if after a certain point, like a certain age, when your health drops to poor, maybe that's your thing is, if your health is poor, then going on campaign, like leading an army, creates a negative health modifier. Like, and it says on campaign or something like that. I think that would be it. I think it'd be a really cool way to just kind of circumvent this, like abusing super strong characters. Dude, look at that. So, do you guys want me to? You guys want me to check this out? See how this works? If I don't know, man. His prowess is pretty bitchin'. So let's save. You guys want me to check how the independence works on this? Let's do this just real quick. We saved. We're testing something. So revoke title. Keep them here. Do you have Munster too? That. See how that goes. Quick. This will be the last thing before we exit the stream anyway. I just want to see how that works. Okay, so we get that. What if we made this guy a double duke? They're both Connacht in this location down here. Whew. Okay, so let's grant this to grant titles. Boop and boop. That'll give him his full 4. Okay. That is the Duchy of Yeland. But there's more. I know that kind of messes with his de jure stuff, but that's fine. Because now we create kingdom title. We give this title to him. That'll encompass all these lands, and it'll give him all of these lands that we haven't given him already. Then we'll transfer a vassal to him. We do this. Grant a vassal. There. And that creates the Kingdom of Denmark. And this also does for my dynasty. We have an emperor account. Oh, what's going on? Shouldn't he be? Maybe he has to be independent. So that is the Kingdom of Denmark in Britannia. Where is that? Oh, these are mine. It's not that. Here, we'll make him 2 quick. We'll give him 2. Okay, yeah, he's Norse. Opinion of you. That's fine. We'll just give him this guy Anders. Give him Lund. Because I think if I grant independence, he still won't have these. He'll still be part of my land. Give him this guy. This guy seems fine. And we would grant these vassals to him. So there. There is Denmark. Here is Britannia, and we would grant independence. Yeah, it's gonna give me that, but that's fine. Okay, so now Denmark is... We've created the power of, like, the sole power of Denmark now on the map as an extension of my dynasty. And this gives me renown because we have a king, which is pretty sweet, right? Isn't that pretty cool? Like, we just... That's pretty sweet. That's a really sweet little endpoint right there. I'm happy. I'm happy with what we've done, guys. We've created a respectable land. There's really no infighting, too. We didn't create Northumbria. I mean, we're going to go back. I just wanted to see that. But how does it affect succession? It doesn't, because he's no longer in the crown. Oh! It does! He gets the High Chiefdom of Munster through succession. Interesting. Interesting. I thought by granting him independence, it would kind of cut him out from it. Huh. I wonder at what point this happened, though. Yeah, I could give them easily to someone else. Well, here, watch. Grant this to someone who is Irish. Norse, Irish, unit of me. Oh, perfect. This guy rocks. Here. There. Now for succession, he doesn't get anything. Now, of course, there's still this to deal with, in which case I could say, all right. Here, I'll even show you how we would deal with this. We would go move realm capital. Move realm capital here. And watch what happens even if we create the Duchy of Wessex. So now we've got all that. And take a look at succession. So, the only title lost would be the Earldom of White. In which case, I could just simply land him right now. But I technically would not do that, but I guess I wouldn't have a choice. So succession would then go to... Constantine is going to get the the Duchy of Lothian, the Duchy of Wessex, and he's going to be the King of England, and the King of Scotland, and the Emperor of Britannia. And then Piglet would get just the Earldom of White. Now, I don't know. I thought it should tell you if it's going to create a title. It usually says this title will be created upon death. Because the only other person who can hold a title is King Ronald. And maybe he just is not going to give it to him. But it is probably, like, behooves me to probably give Ireland to Piglet. Or go and take Brittany, make Brittany independent, and give it to Piglet. Because while I'm not painting the map in the literal sense of Britannia being controlled entirely by me, what's important about what I've done here is it will further... Look at this. My renown is at 4 a month. That's pretty sizable. I've got 63 members. They're spreading throughout the world. If they're independent, they'll create their own marriages, and they'll spread themselves around the world. They might even make a branch dynasty. Who knows? But what this does is, see how I have Emperor, King, and Count? Is because those individuals are independently those positions. I don't have a Duke because the Duke is a subject of me, the King. You can't get that compounding. So you can use this to make your dynasty, your renown, grow by making your dynasty kind of spread out by making these independent locations. Brendan, this is our last episode for Britannia here, but that is how you would curve this succession. That's why you can see here, this chieftain is true steel, is going to become the lord of everything. He'll even retain his Duke of Albany, which I would need to give away, which I would give it to his son upon reaching age. Absolutely, Sam. Thank you very much for watching, man. Does this override anything? Good, it doesn't. So here is our concluded. This is where we are. This is what we're ending it on. Roll those credits. Woo-hoo! But here is our Kingdom of Britannia that we have created in our name. Oh, no, let's not do this. This. It has been created. Take a picture of that. We'll pop it on the Reddit because it's funny. Put on the helmet of King Arthur? Sure thing. There it is. The helmet of King Arthur to end our stream on here with King Mathair, the blameless of Britannia. And we did that in 2 generations. This is who we started the game as, guys. It's only 927 AD. I mean, if I were to keep playing this... Reminger, thank you very much, man. We would adopt feudal ways probably during the reign of our next son as we work towards barracks. We just have to get these last 3. I mean, 23 years, 29 years in barracks. I mean, that can be done pretty quickly. And all we would need to really do is, when we get the next son, switch the lifestyle focus over here to scientific to get that cultural fascination progress. YouTube user, thank you as well, man. I don't know why it says blameless. I think it's because I executed a lot of people.
Thank you for the donation.
Really what it comes down to, Tom, is we got lucky in the northern portion of England in both Northumbria and what is now Dira in Lancaster. All 3 of them had really, really, really turbulent peasant revolts that reduced the standing armies to like 100 or 200, and we just capitalized. In one turn, we jumped all the way down to like the middle portion of England. In one episode, I mean, just gobbling that up fast. The plan for CK3 is wait until Saturday, see what's coming. Apparently it's some Northern Lord action with some Norse according to the big leak, but we'll find out more for sure on Saturday, and we'll be doing some Stellaris. But also Saturday, Bannerlord stream. That's what's going to happen. Let's give out some thank yous here to the people who did some stuff. We had quite a bit. Jimmy Stromberg, thank you very much for your donation earlier today. Rowinger closing us out with a great stream, dropping 50 Norwegian kronu, and then YouTube user with a $2 donation. But lest we forget, Mighty Edie Sellers and her donation of $10 saying for your PG&E bill because the struggle is real. So thank you very, very much for joining me, guys. Hopefully you had a lot of fun with our Scottish campaign. This was a good one. I really, really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed more than anything. I enjoyed going over the history of Scotland, which I did not know at all. I had no idea about any of it. We'll do, Rebinger. We'll do, man. Will do. So learning about Scottish history was really fun, and conveying it to you guys was really fun. Like going over stuff with Kievan Rus. I knew a lot about Kievan Rus. I know a shit ton about the Byzantine. Look how big the Byzantine Empire like almost represents what it was at the height of Justinian, although this is lost. So that kind of needs that to be really, really cool. Learning about the Normans was really cool to do that history time. I didn't know a whole ton about the Reconquista, so learning that too was really great to convey to you guys. Personally, I would really like to do something over here. The problem with it is I can't pronounce these things very well. And for me, pronunciation is very important to kind of giving homage, or at least honoring a culture. Like, a lot of people go, oh, just don't try so hard to get the pronunciations right. Like, no, that's fuck you. Like, that's someone's culture you're saying fuck off to. And it's important to me to at least try to get the pronunciations right, or at least put an effort into it. India's easy for me to learn the pronunciations to, because Party Elite can teach them to me. And I kind of have an idea for how it works. Hey, Fez, thank you very much, man. A $2 donation from the Big Daddy Fez. Just hot. Georgia actually has a really, really cool history. As one of the final... Georgia was one of the final Greek colonies. They pushed up through the city of, well, Byzantium. Up through here, and they were pretty much untouched for a really long time. A long time. And they do have a pretty cool little history. You can play with Armenia, can't you? I don't think you can in this stage. I think in 1066 you can directly play as Armenia and have the decision to create Armenia. Croatia is really fun too. The Croatian and Bulgaria, those are cool. You get the big decision over here to push north. It's pretty fun into the Pechenegs. This one down here is also pretty interesting. I've never played any of the African countries at all, not even a little bit. So that'd be kind of cool, especially over here in the Levant, and like talking about the creation and formation of Islam out of Mecca and how that supplants the Persian empires. Like, it's like a one-to-one complete swap. It's such a fast process of the spread of Islam, as well as the rise of all of those caliphates and everything like that, out from the Persian empires and destroying them. So it's a really, really, really rich history that you really don't learn a lot in the West, which is unfortunate. But I mean, the Islamic faith or nations were the center of technology, of just all sorts of innovation for hundreds of years in the medieval ages. And it's always kind of discredited, right? Like, oh, Christendom, we have learned it all. Yo, you motherfuckers had to relearn how to make a sieve, something that the Romans had, or a tourniquet, something the Romans had already like perfected. I always make the argument that two big things, if the Western Roman Empire hadn't fallen, and if the burning of the library at Alexandria hadn't happened, I always wonder what knowledge we would have had into the early and Middle Ages, or early, high, and late Middle Ages. Those are the three distinctions. Because it's like, that is such a desecration of knowledge. Like, you lose so much with those huge pivotal points. And this happens a lot, right? Once you get a huge, massive empire, once it destabilizes and you lose a portion of it, like the Eastern Romans saw themselves as Romans, and the world saw themselves as Romans. The Western Roman Empire wasn't the true end of the Roman Empire. The Byzantine Empire went on until the 1400 some odd with the Ottomans. We've talked about that. But the Western Romans, with the destabilization over here and all these things popping up, and the Holy Roman Empire and Charlemagne and everything like that, there was no real like center focus of knowledge. Everything kind of split apart and got fractured, and that kind of caused a serious situation. It happened over here too with Alexander the Great. When Alexander went all the way over to this location, pretty much like right here was his like end, with the successor kingdoms, and then the further splintering of those successor kingdoms really caused a huge gap in technology and in medical and in all sorts of research and furtherings. It just all kind of goes whoop, as it all gets sucked into the power vacuum. I think that's why I get really freaked out when people are like, "Oh man, you know, if America's getting all crazy over there, you guys, good luck. It's civil war, going to destabilize us, splinter into different states and all that." Like, those aren't good points in history to be a part of. Like, you don't want to see any of the quote-unquote empires fall. The British Empire falls, and look what happens to places that they were once parts of the British Empire. They're destabilized, and they still haven't even recovered. So it's like, that shit really freaks me out. So when like the thing that happened back in January at our capital, I was like, oh, this is it. This is it. Gather all the books quickly. I would love to do an Alexander the Great, but that would probably be more an imperator. But I would like to do a Bactrian alliance thing over here. Like, you can do over here. You have to be part of. You have to be Afghani culture. Yeah, establish the Bactrian supremacy. That one's really cool to me. The Empire of Bactria. But you have to completely control the region of Bactria, which I don't know where it is. Yeah, it's not good. That happens sometimes. Oh, there it goes. I had to click it off. There's the region of Bactria. You're either Zoroastrian or Buddhist. Zoroastrian would be really fun to do, I think, because it's kind of hard to keep a foothold on. And you're illustrious. And Urgan is in the Bactrian religion or a region. It's a culture too, I think. No, it's not. I thought there was also a culture for it. Lord of the Ganges, which is not how you pronounce it. It's Gunga. Ganges. Indian pronunciation is Gunga. The Lord of the Gunga. But alright guys, thank you very much for watching here today. That kind of concludes our little time of fun back and forth there. We'll be back here with some more stuff, hopefully on Saturday, some exciting news, but we're doing some Bannerlord. That is happening. We're going to play 1.5.9, so be on the lookout for that. 10:30, 11 a.m. Pacific Daytime. True, Thomas. But again, thank you guys all very much for watching here today. Have a good one. Everyone stay safe, wash your hands, take care, and I will see you bros on Saturday. Toodles to you too, DC. OS, thank you very much, man. Always appreciate your help. Tom Sheppers, have a good one, brother. Fez, thank you, dude. Thank you for being so fucking hot, bro. Thank you. Was indeed Outpost. Have a good one, dude. Good seeing you. Glad you could make it for the live one. It's kind of cold as shit. I'm waiting for my new Sneak Energy sweatshirt to dry because it's actually really nice. Reverend, good night, dude. Have a good one, brother. All right, guys. Have a good one. Take care.